In this video, I demonstrate how to derive the equilibrium strategies associated with a strategic interaction between two firms, excuse me, A and B, in two different scenarios here. First scenario, the two firms are going to decide what to do at the exact same time. So they will be choosing simultaneously. In the second scenario, the firms will make their decisions sequentially. And so firm A will move first, and then firm B will move knowing what firm A moved, or knowing what firm A did. Okay, so let's look at the simultaneous choice game up here. Let's evaluate the situation from A's perspective. Okay, so and we'll use best response analysis to find this equilibrium here. So if B chooses to be aggressive, then it looks like it's best for A to be passive. So A's payoffs are in the left element here. So 30 is greater than 25. So A is going to want to play passive. If B plays passive, A is going to also want to play passive because 36 is greater than 33. So it looks like A has a dominant strategy in playing passive. So no matter what B does, it's always best for A to be passive. Okay, now let's switch over and look at the situation from B's standpoint here. If A is aggressive, it's best for B to be passive because 10 is greater than 9. But if A is passive, it's best for B to be aggressive because 13 is better than 12. So it depends on what A does as to what it's best for, in terms of it depends on what A does. Depends on what A does as to what B should do. So B doesn't have a dominant strategy. But going back, we know that A has a dominant strategy in passive. Okay, so then we can say that playing aggressive is a dominated strategy for A. And so a dominated strategy, they're never going to ever play aggressive because it's always best to play passive. So we can take the situations where A is aggressive and take those out. Now we can look at the situation again from B's perspective and see that 13 is greater than 12. So the Nash equilibrium here is going to be where A is passive and B is aggressive. Let's check this solution. So if we're here, and first of all, it's impossible for A to deviate, but can B deviate and make themselves better off? So can they play passive and be better off? No. So we have a equilibrium there. Okay, let's look at the sequential choice game. In this situation, we're going to use backward induction. So we're going to go to the end of the game and look at the problem from these nodes here. So player B, if we're here, it's best if they're passive because 10 is going to be greater than 9. Okay, so let's make a little arrow here. If we're down here, it's going to be best for player B to be aggressive because 13 is greater than 12. Okay, so now let's look at the situation from the beginning of the game and player A's perspective here. Okay, so if player A is aggressive, then they know that they're going to get a payoff of 33 because player B is going to be passive. If player A is passive, then they know that they're going to get a payoff of 30 because B will be aggressive. So I'm going to compare these two payoffs here, 33 with 30, and I'm going to realize that it's best for player A to be aggressive. So the equilibrium here is that B is passive and A is aggressive, which is different than the situation where they chose simultaneously.